BAP provides many tools, and one of the more popular tools is a tool called bapReader, and we're going to walk through the reasoning and why we would use bapReader. So bapReader is an application that will read through any documents built upon key phrases that you've defined. So what does that mean? Well, let's say, for example, that my job requires me to read a lot of these IG reports. Now, this one happens to be related to the Department of Veterans Affairs about fiscal year 2017, and you can find these, by the way, anywhere on the internet. They're all over the place. All right, public information. So here I have to read down through this. Now, this is a 61-page document, and I really have to see what it is that this document is talking about so that I can plan a strategy of mine to be able to provide the Department of Veterans Affairs the right type of technology to meet their needs. So I start with the document itself, and let's say I've never read this document before. Well, because I've never read the document, I'm going to have to go through the document, and I'm going to have to highlight specific areas that make sense for me and my company and what we need, what my company can do to solve those problems. So that's kind of our first step. And for me, what I do with that information is I drop it into a presentation, basically, that shows the page, what the question is, and then how BAP in this example satisfies that need. So you can see here the OIG report and how we satisfy that need. We're really not here to talk about how I set documents up, but how we use bapReader to do that. So I take and once I get this report done, or once I've read through this document, I go back down through my highlighted areas and I find key phrases. Key phrases that mean something and that have some value to me. Maybe I'm going to group them together. Maybe I'm going to provide answers on how I can, for example, help with security deficiencies. Whatever it is that you need or do, you want to just type all of those out quickly into a spreadsheet. And I put them here in a spreadsheet because it's pretty easy to then sort this information within my spreadsheet. So I'm just going to hit data. Whoops. And you can't see that, so let me expand that out for you. I'm going to hit data and sort, and then I'm just going to sort on this column. And the reason why I sort is because as I'm reading down through my document here, right, I'm getting some duplicate information. So I want to be able to eliminate that duplicate information. For example here, critical systems, I want to eliminate that. And then I go down through and then I provide or create a subgroup. So I'll create, for example, a subgroup called audit logs. And here within audit logs, I'm going to include, for example, audit logging. So phrases that talk a little bit about audit logs. So I'll go down through and find any of them and subgroup them into audit logs. These will become my bapReader groups. So when we use BAP in this example, audit logs, we'd go back over to BAP and we'd create a new reader group. And here from my spreadsheet, I want to name that reader group audit logs. So I'm just going to type in audit logs and hit next. Then I'm going to add the key phrases that I found. Now I happen to read through. Remember, I'm getting these key phrases from the information that I've read here and highlighted already and I found to be of interest. Like, for example, just looking at this one, continuous monitoring. So on other OIG reports that I may be reading in the future, if something talks about comprehensive continuous monitoring, I want to know about it. So these are the things that I'm putting in here. And remember, I just consolidated that into this spreadsheet so that I could see it. So a second key phrase that I want to put is audit logging. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in audit logging and add that key phrase. Now I just go through here. This is a very simple one that I've created here, and I'm just going to save that to my local framework. Now once I save that to my framework, it's now going to be available to me to use, so that if I have a document that I want to run using bapReader, for example, I can select the file. In this example, we can select this audit file here, this FSMA report. And I'm just going to find that file through selecting the file for the AI. And then I'm just simply going to hit upload. Now you see the confirmation on the screen here that the file was uploaded. Now you can import either a PDF or a TXT file, but this becomes the file itself that I want to read. And then I'm going to run a report here on the audit log. And I'm just going to type in here what the name of the report is going to be. So I'm just going to say audit logs in bpaReader report. Now this is a very simple application. Typically what I would do is I would have multiple reader groups in here. So again, back to my spreadsheet here, I would go here, maybe authority to operate, and I may put in a reader group called ATO, and then here, for example, approved security baseline might be part of that subgroup, and go through, and then I would have a second reader group here for ATO, right? And then I could scan for multiple. We'll just do the one scan here to kind of work our way into this bapReader technology. Now it's going to take a few minutes for it to process. Remember, it's going down and looking for any of those key phrases that it might find. It's processing through. And so you're going to get this screen for a few minutes. You can refresh it, and it's done already. So we're going to go ahead and go into that report right now. Now, for this document that we scanned here, the VA-OING report, we found 7 audit log values and 5 audit logging for a total of 12. Now remember, we just named this audit logs. We would typically name this maybe scan of VA-OING report, and it would immediately pull up audit logs, and then remember the other reader group might be ATO, but we only did one here. So here I'm going to go ahead and look at this report and drill out my false positives. So let's just go ahead and click on this and see what we have. So we have 5 and 7, and we're going to just go here and work on our false positives. We can remove our view our details, to see if these lines really mean audit logs. We're not incorporating the enhanced audit log monitoring. Okay, that sounds good, right? So audit log analysis. We need to system audit logs, audit log collections. So QRadar to facilitate enhanced audit log. That doesn't really mean that it's a deficiency. It's just a solution that they came up with, right? So we just look through all of that. Again, this is enhanced field, so we don't need that. Further enhancements and use, right? An example, and audit log monitoring ring. So these aren't really important to what we're really going after here, so we're going to remove those. Now, we didn't care what they were. In this case, they happen to be audit log. So we're going to go ahead and view the details for audit logging. So here we can see audit logging and monitoring. That's just a title. We don't need that. Here we need to improve communication with audit logging. We like that. Audit logging and monitoring. We're going to take that one out too. Audit. So we have a few titles that it picked up on. We don't want those. Audit logging. So that looks good there. We're going to remove those. And then we're going to go back to our report. So here we've cut down our report, and now we can go ahead and return back to our report and see exactly where our values are. Now we only have 4 and 2 hits, right? And we can also do this, by the way, in an Excel spreadsheet. So here what we see in this spreadsheet is that we have the report name, and then we have what the key phrase was, audit logging, and the reader group itself, and how many of those key phrases were discovered. And so if we had a big list of these, we could easily kind of sort through and see what it is that we want to keep and delete. And we could also run, if we wanted to, we could run graphs and things like that based on this information. So that's pretty much how you run. If we need to send this report, we can open up the report here, take a look and see what we found. Not a whole lot there on the drill down report, but there's other reports available. and we can send this result to others as well. And that's pretty much the rationale behind using this reporting engine. This allows us to quickly and easily ascertain things that are important within documents without having to read all the way through the documents themselves.